So when I'm working on this, if he goes too far in front of me, come on. Yes. Just changing direction. Yes. I'm marking when he follows, and he gets a treat in my space. Yes. Hey, that's rude. Hey. He's definitely more overstimulated out here than inside. So anytime I feel anything other than his nose or his tongue, he does not get the treat. There's a lot going on when you come outside. Yes. You gotta chew the treats. Hey. Nope. As long as you know what we're doing, it's fine. Okay, so go closer. So think of it as getting closer to the road when he's more calm, when he's more focused on you. If he's still getting like the end of the leash and being crazy, I'm gonna walk back to wherever he was being good and continue to go back and forth until he's more focused. Hey, gentle. Yes. Get it? Hey. No. Yes. Better. Be really strict with how he takes treats. Okay. Yes. Good. If I didn't have gloves on, the way he was taking them would probably hurt.
Okay.
But right now it's pressure, but not real bad. Yes. If I can feel anything other than his nose or his tongue, or like right now he's being kind of rough, but not really rough. It doesn't hurt.
Right.
But when it does, I pull away. Like he's not allowed to have a treat. Even if I've already marked him for it, he still can't get that treat. He's not gentle and good about it.
Should I do like this every time I take him out?
I would. Yep. I mean, obviously let him pee first, like try to
Right.
But then
Yeah.
the second, like, do not let him pull you even a little bit.
Okay.
Because when he does pull, he's pretty pushy about it. He bolts.
Oh yeah.
So-
He's almost taking me off my feet.
Not surprised. So that's one reason why I like to have this up here too, because like I'm not giving him the whole leash. Now if I give him all of this, if he goes to pull really hard, he's gonna do that to me even though I have my feet planted. But he's getting about 3 feet, so I've got a pretty good grip on him. Now if he goes to run and pull, I have more power to block him than if he has the whole leash.
Okay.
So it's less sludgy effect.
Okay.
Yes. Good. Ready? We're gonna slowly start walking. Good. That's better. Half the way he's taking the tray right after he's trying to take it through my glove. He just can't find it. You're not very good with your teeth or your nose. All right, you ready to walk? Come here. So if he even pulls a little bit, I'm gonna walk back and change direction. Yes. What I'm marking is 2 things. One, when he's kind of made the decision to come back to me. It's also when the leash goes from tight to loose.
Okay.
And then the treats when he gets to me. So you can mark him when he's further away, but he can't. You're not going to go to him to give the treat,
Okay.
or allow him. Like you're not going to walk to him to do this.
Okay.
Yes. Gentle. Yes. I'm going to change direction often as well as my speed. Yes. When you're on concrete, you can drop the treats. He's getting it better. You got me? Typical boy. So right now, I'm not really worried about what side he's on. Yes. I just wanted him to realize he needs to follow me instead. Yes. Good. Yes, so he's already kind of realizing that when the leash gets tight, that means I've changed direction and he should follow.
Mommy, can I pose Chloe?
You can go ask.
I dropped it. Oh, hey, look, there's a dog. Yes. Good. Yes.
So is
good.
it
Gentle.
is it okay if I take him for longer walks?
Oh, yeah.
Like, just do
Okay,
this
yeah.
first, you think?
Yeah,
Like,
I
okay.
just do this usually for the first like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Then when he's less like you can tell he's less
Amped up.
jumping to pull you, and he's staying closer, then you can start walking more. until you have the harness. Anytime he pulls, I want you to go back to doing this a little bit.
Okay.
So you can still do a full walk.
Right.
Just
start
do
doing
not let
this.
him pull.
Okay.
And it can be like, if say we're walking that way and he's pulling that way, I can even change direction that way. Just something to get his focus on me instead.
Okay.
If they're like, if they come this way with that puppy or dog, is it a corgi? Oh, it's a corgi. Like if they get really close, if I'm walking this way and he's still like right now, so he's being very, very hyper focused on.
Yeah.
That's what the word is. Hyper
Hyper-focused,
focused.
yeah.
Yes, on that dog. I'm almost gonna run. Yes. Good boy. You'll find it. Yes. So there's two reasons I want you to add more movement. One, you're making yourself more fun than that dog.
Right.
And he's very focused. So I want him to follow me instead. Come on. Yes. Good boy.
I think they live in this house right here.
Oh, like that one?
This one right here.
Okay. Come on. Shadow, come. Yes. Come on. Hey, sit. Yes. Nope. Sit. Sit. Yes. Good. Shadow, come. Yes. Sit. Come on. Yes. Good. So like that. I never want you to go in the direction that he wants to. So right now, he really wants to go towards that dog. We're not going to let him. It's gonna be a lot easier when you have the right color. Right harness.
yeah.
He's got a lot of power right now. Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Hey. Nope. Sit. Yes. Yeah, you're overstimulated. Sit. Yes. Gentle. Super excited outside. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he
Sit.
definitely, I think, was outside a lot.
So even this, so with how, so a lot of people misconstrue what it means to exercise your dog. So just because you're walking him a lot, that doesn't mean that he's getting the proper exercise that he needs. Doing this while I'm just staying in your yard working him for 20, 30 minutes, that's enough for him. That doesn't mean that they don't need to run like crazy.
Okay.
If you're doing a training session, it's similar to running a couple miles. If that makes sense. So, because you're stimulating his brain. I always describe it too. The older dogs can do more than younger puppies. Yes, good boy. Because younger puppies tend to get worn out faster because it's hard for them to think
Right.
for a long period of time, just like kids. So think of him. Honestly, he probably has the same attention span as your kids do. They're 4, right? 6.
Four,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's about like them. So think if you have them for a half hour, they're constantly doing work and like homework and whatnot. They're way more calm when they're done. So when they do go to play, it's less, it's okay. Let's play the right way.
Right.
Same concept with him. So when you're doing a training session with him like this is just teaching him to focus on you instead of anything else that's going on. You're working his brain, which is going to calm his whole body down. Right? Yes. That is really rough, bud. No.
Should you, like, is it okay to, like, be, like, gentle? Like,
You can, but you want to
okay?
say it after he's been gentle. So anytime they're learning a new word, anything, they don't know it until we've shown them the behavior. So most of the time when we're teaching something new, like when we go to teach it down, I wouldn't say or mark the word until he's consistently following my hand, which usually would be how I'd lure him into it, which is when you have a treat.
so do you say
Thinking
it
about it.
first and
Nope.
then you don't?
Nope. Depending on what it is, like when I work on drop, I say it first, but I only ever say it once and I click or mark the second they do it.
Okay.
And then the treats after a mark. Yes. Good. Down. He does kind of know this one, so it's kind of hard. But if he didn't know down, the first probably 3 times I do it, I'm going to have a treat in my hand. I'm going to lure him to the ground. Luring simply just means you have a treat in your hand and you're guiding them to something.
Okay.
It can be you get them to come towards you. It can be you ask for a sit. that's the first step we get rid of, is to take your treat out of your hand, but do the same thing. So if I'm working on sit, the treat wouldn't be in my hand anymore. It would be just doing the same motion with it. Hold on. Yes. Nope. Nothing over there. Yes. Good. So even moments like this, he's sitting and he looks calm. He's not calm. His
He looks
eyes,
like he's like on alert.
he's staring down something. His tail is pretty pointed. It's stiff. He is watching a specific angle. His little nose is kind of
see that, yeah.
fudgling. So even moments like this, I would either move that way towards him or I can get his attention. Shadow. Yes. Good. Yes. Start kind of by his name. Yes. Then it's going to become every time he looks at me, instead of what's going on over there, I mark him. Yes. Hey, that was really rough. Ow. Yes. So now I have broken that hyper focus and turned it back on me. Which if he sits and you looks at you like that, I don't care. That's fine. Most of the time they're not going to do as intense, but they're still like, if they're sitting and you're looking at you and they kind of see things, look at you again, that's perfect.
Okay.
So even this is working his brain. He's already peed, so he expressed himself, right, or relieved himself.
Yeah.
But even like across the street, like you could do this in this little area. Like use this as kind of your first thing, and then slowly work on going further and further, where there's more distractions and more people. So then you're able to get his focus a little more. The biggest thing with this is when he's so hyper focused on something else, do a lot of movement. If you have to run the other direction, run in the other direction. But you mark and reward him when he follows that. So
Okay.
it's gonna feel like you're dragging him in the beginning. Especially with this harness, when we get the other one, it'll be
Yeah.
a little less dragging because
Okay.
he'll actually respond to it. But even like that, like it looked like I was dragging him, but I wasn't. Dragging would be if you're doing this and using your arms to make him do it, versus you use your body and he has to follow your body. Yes. Right? Because then what's that's going to teach? Because if you're constantly having to do this, that's not really teaching him anything. That's telling him you're gonna make him do it, so then he waits for you to do it versus him thinking himself to do
So
it.
it's kind of like you want him to realize that's kind of his job
Right,
to
right.
keep
We want him to respond more to your body language. So you have less talking you have to do with him, less cueing you have to do on the leash. He responds what you do naturally, which is integral. When you're walking, what it should look like is you walk this way. He's staying with you. You go to turn. He goes to follow. You do it again. What he's watching is right here. So he's watching my hip to figure out where I'm going or what I'm doing. If I go to stop, yes, he should also stop. You gotta use your nose, dude. Silly. Right? So we can start marking him for doing that naturally, and then do other types of methods and cues when he doesn't do it right. Yeah? He's a strong boy. He really is. Yes.
That's why I was like, as soon as we got him, I was like, I need to find a trainer.
Right. You're powerful, and you don't realize it.
Because like the girls will be like, can we walk him? And I'm like,
Whew. Yeah, I know. What I've done with Dean, because he wants to walk the puppies and stuff like that. He always wanted to walk our Dane, who he was good, but he still pulled sometimes. He wasn't perfect on it. And I did more leash cue training with him than I did body language, which was my fault in the beginning. But I would let him walk him, but I'd have like a second lead. So half time I'd let him walk him with a long lead, and I'd have the regular one. So if he goes to pull, I can correct it. And then my son still thinks he's walking him, even though he's not.
that's a good idea. Like, here's your leash you can hold.
Right,
Yeah.
because then they're like, oh, I'm walking the dog, but in reality, you're protecting
Especially,
it.
like, right now, it's like,
Right, I would
I
wait.
don't know him that well, and
Right.
we're still getting to know each other, and
Right,
just want to make sure everything is okay.
right, and you'll see it once you get even doing this with this. This is a big difference than when we first walked out here. He's already a little bit less less crazy, less hyper focused. He's still alert and watching things, but it's easier to get his attention than it was when we first came outside.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see the more you do this with him, the more focus he's gonna have on you instead, which is what we want. Right?
So, don't let him bolt out the door.
Yep.
So,
Make
should
him
I make
wait.
him sit?
I would.
Before we go out the door?
Yep.
Okay.
And then you go out first. So when I did that with him, I had him in a sit. He even started to go towards it. I came back to him. Then I went through it, and then I said okay, and released him to come through it. So then he learns he's not supposed to just bolt through it. He has to wait for you to actually tell him he can.
Okay.
I think I have a video on it. I have to look. I know I made a TikTok about it,
Okay.
but I might have an actual like detailed video of how to teach it. But if I don't, I'll try
Let's
to
make
get
sure
one.
I'm going for like the sequence. Because we do this, you know, we go outside all the time.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that I'm being consistent.
Right.
So I'm just making sure that
Right. And over time, I feel like once he's less hyper focused on other dogs or other people, you can get to the point where you can let him out here on a long lead and you're with him. But he's a very powerful dog,
Yeah.
so before you do that, make sure you have this under control because he's gonna pull it right out of the ground. If you don't, he's just be like, go! Like,
Yeah.
I can pull it. What do they? Oh, is there a swing set?
yeah, there's like swings.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Yes. But even that, like your kids can be a distraction tool to work with him. So if he's paying attention to them, Shadow, yes. Mark him for paying attention to you instead and toss a cookie that he's not finding. You just step on it. Use your nose, dude. You're a lab. No. I know I got you excited. Yes. Ooh, good catch.
What?
Chasing me.
Oh, okay, stop,
You
Nora.
want them to chase you?
Just ask her to
Don't
stop.
want them to. Shadow. Yes. Good. Oh, you didn't get it.
So
I don't
right
know where it
now,
went that
is
time.
it okay to mark and give treats the entire walk?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I definitely would.
Okay.
And it's in the beginning, it's your rate of reinforcement, which is how many treats you give, is really, really high.
Okay.
As he does better and figures this out, then you decrease how many treats are getting because he can go longer without doing the naughty behavior or pulling.
Right.
Yes. Good catch. He's good at catching. He's not going to find them on the floor, but he's good at catching. You gonna do this with Mom? A little bit? So there's no distractions now, so we can do the easy stuff. So first get him to kind of focus on you. You're just going to mark when he looks at you or any kind of attention. Shadow? Yes. You can use his name. I also do, like, I mean, I'm sure you heard it, I do like a lot of, like, sounds, just ways to get his attention. You got it in your foot. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. This is the hard part with how cold it is. I'm
I
like,
know, like, so,
I
like-
need better gloves that I can actually feel my fingers.
It's so hard.
It's the rough part. Plus they get gross because you got treats now.
Yeah, I can't. It's hard to feel like, am I giving you
Right.
5 or why am I?
That's kind of like, I was like putting him on the ground. So like, okay, I can see what I gave you. Or throwing it to him, either way. So I'm going to be a distraction now. Purposely walk around.
So should I just like,
So right now, anytime he looks at me but then looks at you instead, mark him. Good.
shut up.
Yes. Good. He's so handsome.
Shut up.
Yes. Good boy.
Yeah, I can't tell what I'm doing with these gloves on.
Right? It's hard.
It's like, I think he's getting it.
Right. I need to find like thin ones but they're really warm. So like the thermal something, but that's, my hands are little too, so usually they don't fit right.
Oh,
It's annoying.
I'm the opposite problem.
Like these are kids' gloves.
Oh my gosh.
And
are
they
really?
fit well and they're comfy, but like I can't feel my fingers because they're fuzzy.
I have the opposite problem. I'm like, I need to switch out in the man section.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes the men's gloves fit better, like their smalls or extra smalls. Like I don't know why. I think it's because
Yeah.
the finger part's longer.
Sometimes.
Yes, all men's clothes are
Yeah,
cheaper.
it's like,
I've started buying men's jeans
yeah, it's like,
because they actually go up high. Like, well, I mean, they're not made to go up high, but like because how low they normally are for guys, like they're up high, they're the right length, they're comfy and like loose in the right spots. It's funny.
yeah, I mean, it's like,
Not at all.
shut up. Yes.
Good boy. Good. It's going to be pretty easy to calm him down because even now he's way less hyper focused. He's a little bit more chill. His brain's working. It's not all crazy.
Yes.
And you want to do this with him a lot. So anytime there's even a little bit of distraction, work him through this. If you're not getting his attention within at least 5 seconds, like if he's not responding to his name or he's
Yeah.
pulling really hard away, that's the moments I want you to add movement.
Start.
Yep, and do your movement away from the distraction. Because if you're going towards it,
He's like, oh, I'm doing what I want.
right. So we're
Shut up.
rewarding
Yes.
that hypertension behavior, which we don't want to do.
Oh, now you're finding all of them.
Yep, he's like, they're on the ground. Silly kid. Yes. Good boy.
Yes.
Good. Okay, go ahead and start walking with him a little So now we're gonna do, if he pulls in front of you, change direction. Oh, look at him go. Yes, good. That's better.
Yes.
Any more cookies?
Yeah.
Very good.
Sorry, I got.
Oh, you're totally fine. I have plenty.
I bought a bag of, I think like the same thing, like training. Like they're small like this.
Right, full trainer ones.
And I only use them like outside.
Good.
But I wasn't for sure exactly like
Right.
how to use
Yeah,
them.
and you can use them inside too. I just like to use kibble in the house because there's less distractions and it's an easy way to use their dinner for training or breakfast, whichever. Behind you. That's not a treat. Don't eat your car. I don't even know. He thought it was a cookie though. Look at that. So in between feedings, make sure your hand's kind of up here.
Oh, okay. Because he thinks I'm
Yeah,
gonna
because the reason why he's trying to, like, he's really amped is because your hand's down.
Oh, he's like, oh, I get you.
Yep, and it can even be like if it's comfortable doing it in your pockets, like whatever,
Like this
just
or
somewhere
whatever?
where
Okay.
he
He's
can't
not thinking he-
forward for it. Yeah. Good. Oh boy. Go ahead and come back this way. He's too far in front of you. Yes, good. Rude, dude.
Mommy, mommy. Hey, mommy.
Does this work on kids?
Right?
Hey, mommy. Hey, mommy.
Hold on, bud. She's busy. Oh boy.
Mommy.
Yeah, James.
I wanna ride my bicycle. But I don't know.
Easily distracted. Yes, good. Okay, so now he likes to go. They've definitely worked with him because he likes to be on your left side.
Is that what they're supposed to be on?
It doesn't
Usually?
matter. It's
Oh.
whatever you want.
Oh, it's
Some people
whatever.
really like a heel. Like if you do like obedience or titles and stuff, heel is supposed to be the left side.
Okay.
Personally, I like my dogs on my right side because it's generally when we're walking, they're on the inside of the road. So that he seems to be going towards your left. They probably taught him that.
Okay.
So now what I'm going to have you do, what you're going to get used to, is when you want him on a specific side, your leash is going to be on the opposite side and the treats are on the side facing him so that he doesn't walk in front of you. So the first couple steps, it's fine because we want him to just stay close to you. Now that he's staying close to you, he's pulling a little less. We want to make it a little bit more structured.
So I should switch arms?
Yep. And sometimes prefer one side or the other. Sometimes owners like a side or the other. And the only reason why I'm having to switch because he's pretty much
Showing
staying on your left.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they've worked with him on. But when we have the pulling under control and he's doing really well structured, we can change sides at some point. I think that's the side. Okay. Change direction. Good. So if he goes more than a foot in front of you, even if he's not pulling, change your direction.
Yes.
Yep, too far. And the reason it's too far, because say they came outside with their tree, he's that far in front of you, you have a really hard time getting to him before he pulls you towards you. So it's harder, it's less likely for him to actually follow when you turn, and it's harder for you to get to him. So if you keep him at a shorter distance where he is not supposed to go more than a foot in front of you right now, it's going to be easier to get to him before that happens.
Frisbee.
Oh, yeah, you found it. Are your ears cold?
Your ears look cold, bud.
And someone just took it away.
Oh, it's okay. Put it in, you
A
can
long
put it
time
there.
ago. I can't bring them back. Bring them back.
Good, good.
From taking
I would keep him stationary right here. Even go ahead and put him in a sit. Ask him. There we go. Yes. Good. Now he went on the other side. Okay. He was on your left, and now he's wanting to walk on the other one. Oh, silly
Oh,
bud.
I ran a treat.
We'll do a little bit more then. I think they're almost clear to top. Right. I say he's doing good.
Yeah, he seems
It's generally a pretty quick
Like catching
study,
on.
and they catch on fast. It's in moments when it's really hard to get his focus, when it's like a dog or another person, that it's hard.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's a lot of movement when you do that. When you walk him, do the kids come with a lot?
Sometimes, but
Okay.
lately it's been. Oh, sorry, no. It's been a lot. Like
Okay.
wrangling the kids
Right.
and trying to
Right.
control the dog. It's like,
Right. And that's hard for him too, because
Yeah,
he's trying to pay attention to what everyone's doing and whether or not it affects him or not.
And I don't want it to confuse him because if they're running ahead, he's like, oh,
Right.
I'm gonna go run
Right.
with them.
Right.
So it's like it's still like I want him to be like, well, I have the leash, so I'm in
Right.
charge. You know, like,
Right.
no matter what's going on.
Good boy. He's figuring it out.
Yes.
Good. You didn't get it. Shut
So
up.
if I do that, should I like stop for a minute?
If it's in a low distractive area, I would.
Okay.
Or at least just kind of show him and then keep walking. He'll get faster at it. He'll actually realize when it drops and he'll go to grab it quick. And when he's not being so mouthy, when we work through that, we can start feeding it to him. But when he's this hyped up, it's hard to work on the mouthiness because you literally have to stop and wait for him not to take the treat the wrong way. Good boy.
He's tied up. He's not tied up.
Is he caught?
Yep.
Oh, good boy. Right.
Most of the time they'll fix themselves when they're tied up,
Okay.
as long as it's not like under like 4 legs. Most of the time they fix it. So I kind of keep walking, but I bend down and make the leash on the ground so they can get their hand over it or foot.
When we're walking and he is being good, should I mark him?
You can. Yep. I
Or-
do like every 2 or 3 steps. Like yes, good job at the end of the
Okay.
treat. To tell him, keep him enticed to do well. That's much better though. Good job.
Yeah, I think they're all on the ground.
Right? He's
Some
like,
dog is gonna walk by and be very happy.
That's funny. That was good, bud. Good job. So think of this too. So a 10-minute structured walk like this is equivalent to an hour walk of letting him pull.
Really? Wow. That's
So you could
crazy.
do a 20, 30-minute walk that's like a 3-hour walk instead.
Oh my
You know,
gosh,
click it.
wow.
And you'll see a big difference. And then even start doing some of these little sessions when he feeds in the morning and when he eats dinner if you can.
Yeah.
And little bitty sessions throughout the day just to work on impulse control. You can start marking him for looking at you, marking him for coming to you and focusing. If he goes to the door, like to the window and he sees someone outside, when you call him and he comes to you like, yay, good job, and he gets treats for, because I never really teach to block them from barking if someone's in your yard or walking by.
Right.
But if it's excessive, you want to kind of calm that down to where it's maybe 1 or 2 barks and then he's like, oh, and then he comes
So
to
you
you.
just say, like, come,
Yep.
yeah, like,
I'll just call him off, like say his name and then bark when he comes there, or you can even mark in the moments he's quiet. So if he barks a couple times, he takes a break or a breath in between. You could be like, yes, good job, and then give him treats. With my dogs, I'm like, yay, good job, you alerted me, all done.
yes.
So then it became, if it was just something small, they learned to bark a couple times. But then when people started to come, they knew they were coming to the house. Obviously, it escalated a little bit.
Right.
But then at that point, if I said whatever cue I had, which at the time it was like, okay, or all done, or it's okay, something like that, they usually calm down.
Okay.
That's kind of a way to teach that.
Yes.
Good. He's getting a little overstimulated, so we'll probably end. I can tell because he's doing this when he grabs the treats. So he's a little extra. And you'll notice that too. So in moments when he's taking treats really hard, that can either mean whatever just happened is stressing him out a little bit or anxious, or he's overstimulated and needs a break from the training, which is fine. You'll probably see it happen often. He's still pretty young.
Like 20, 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Like max.
I would do that. Yep. Inside, it can be small, little, like 5 to 10 sessions a day. Even the coming outside like this can be like 10 minutes at a time. It doesn't have to be like 30 minutes, like 5 times a day. It can be small, little sections. Good. I would avoid the backyard for a while until he's really focused on you. Then we'll start working him back there where those obnoxious dogs are. Because then if we can get him to focus on you and ignore those dogs instead, then he's at the level you want him at. So that's the end goal. And obviously being able to walk him without him pulling you towards every dog, and you can take him places. So some of these too, like if there's ever, because you said they're in school, right, for like half the day?
They're in school all day. James in school half day.
Okay, because there's some, we could even do like, depending on like how many sessions you want or how, like we can discuss the package type stuff, like I can message you. But we could do like a field trip, and we could go to like Home Depot or a pet store and work with them on that too. So I will send you this video. It's probably, like it's mainly just this walking because I think the kids were in the first one. But I'll go through that and send that, and then I'll make a little playlist and I'll send you the link to it. It'll be specifically, it'll say Shadows playlist. It'll be all the videos that are free for him. the demos of what we just did, what we did with him, and then I'll have some like focus things on there too to kind of help as well. And we can figure out if you want to do like every week or every other week or whatever you kind of think you want to do. And I'll send the kind of harness too. You
That
did
would be
good,
very
kid.
helpful.
Yeah, the harness is, it's a miracle. Like, it's crazy. The second you put it on, it's like a huge difference in the dog. Good job, kid. I think he's gonna catch on. But see, even
Owie.
that, like he's
Yes.
getting rougher.
Yes.
You need a break.
Yeah.
We did
I
a lot.
didn't have my gloves on. That kind of
Right. It'd get you pretty good.